many people know this, but lots of people are going to know this, okay? So, when I was born, I had a birth book, yeah, and people would sign the birth book, yeah? You know, it's a nice thing, best wishes, that sort of thing. And basically, my mum was a professional singer, and she was signed to like Polydor and Decca, and she was doing some work with the BBC or whatever. And basically, the upshot was Jimmy Savile signed my birth book.
Oh, fuck off.
I swear on my life.
Oh my God.
Try and dig it out for you, but he's ruined my birth, basically.
Is that all that he did?
Yeah.
I was an ugly child, so
You'd explain a lot.
I was an ugly child, so
Come here, Daniel. Come here.
Now then, you see, my name is Jimmy Savile. Now listen to me. I've got this lovely letter from this kid who's still in bed. He wants me to fix it for him, but I'd fuck his ass instead. Jim?
Fuck it up again like last week.
Nobody knows. Welcome back to Brash Bros Podcast, episode 10.
Nah, I wasn't going to do it again.
Fuck off, you cunt. I'm keeping that one.
Well. Come on.
I'm keeping that one. We've got Josh Maley on this week. NABA Pro, Mr. Universe. Usual thing. I'll share Josh's page for everyone to see. For those who don't know Josh, head over and give him a follow.
You're he's a monster.
Absolute machine. Nickname of the Viking for obvious reasons. Yeah. So for those who aren't following him, head over, give him a follow. But usual setup, Josh, give us a little rundown of your competition history, what got you into the sport. Obviously, being such a big guy, it's not something that traditionally a 6'6" guy would be doing. So yeah, give us a little rundown, what got you into it, where you go in, etc.
Cool. So thank you for having me, first of all. But yeah, so I started off bodybuilding in 2008 when I was still at uni. I used to swim at a really high level for like 10 years. And I was really skinny. I was like 85 kilos. Always wanted to be bigger, but never really kind of was in line with the swimming goal. And then in 2008, I kind of retired or whatever from swimming and started going to the gym more. I used to train a lot of hours in the pool. So I spent an equal amount of time really in the gym, just doing didn't have a clue, but really enjoyed it. And I started kind of putting on a bit of size. And then it got to 2010 and one of my colleagues at the time mentioned competing. I thought it was kind of ludicrous, but there was the classic class as it was then in the UKBFF. So I stepped into that because it was on a height and weight ratio and it kind of just somewhere to go really. I didn't do too badly at it, but I hated the look because I was just stringy. And then, yeah, I've competed in 2012, 2014, and then since 2014, I've competed every year till now with NABA, and then more recently with the PCA, winning pretty much everything there is to do in NABA apart from the Worlds. Yeah, that's pretty much a rundown.
Okay, so where are you now? What's the plan going forward? Obviously there's a progression route for you now. So
yeah, so this year was all about just having a kind of a year off season. I thought maybe I want to do the universe again at the beginning of the year to kind of defend it. But when this whole shit show hit, I just was like, no, this is a year of trying to get bigger. And I think next year is probably going to be more IFBB. I'm still interested in the PCA because I won't lie, I like the fact that they give money out. And, in a fairly unforgiving sport, it's nice to get a little bit back. I'm still kind of feeling out their pro setup. So yeah, between maybe PCA and then some pro qualifiers, next year could be the plan. But right now, like I live everything on a really short-term basis, like just making sure every day is a good one. And I've got a rough idea, but until I kind of hit January, I'll then make a kind of call on when I prep then.
So, are there any other IFBB pros other than Jamie that at your sort of height? Do you know?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure when Jamie got his card, like those Instagram accounts like Studios and Bodybuilders Without Borders were both saying he was like the tallest pro they had at the minute. So, yeah, I can't wait to see him on stage, to be fair, this year, just to see, what the potential. I mean, he's got a fucking insane physique anyway, but just to see how a tall guy looks, and how he makes everyone else look as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of the sort of feedback I had on my Instagram was people asking how come you hadn't gone pro this far.
Yeah, I think just because I got sucked into the NABBA thing. And for anyone who's competing with NABBA, I don't know if you've experienced this, Dan, but like I really like the experience of it. Like I find it a very friendly show. And for me, bodybuilding, I've always wanted to be the best I could, but I never really knew what that meant. And as long as I was having a good time while I was doing it, that meant quite a lot to me. So obviously I won the Amateur Universe in 2017, and then wanted to kind of give the pro circuit, I suppose, a go. Came second in 2018 and then won it last year. So now I am at the point where it's just like...
You completed it.
Yeah, the only thing is to do like the Worlds, but I think the Worlds next year is in Mexico. I don't really fancy going out there. Generally, NABBA shows abroad are a bit funny.
It seems the trophies they give out, they were like this big.
I've heard the stories. You get a little Kinder Surprise trophy that they've spray painted gold sometimes.
I love NABBA, but I just think like when I hear NABBA in Mexico, it's not going to be somewhere nice. It's going to be some like drug den,
in the favelas,
backyard, yeah, like probably outside getting shot at. So yeah, I might skip that one, and then yeah, I'm so out of touch, to be fair, with like the IFBB. Like there's so many opportunities now, like in this country and abroad and all sorts with pro. I don't even know where to look. Like I'm leaving it till January, and I've got to go online and be like, what shows even exist? Because there seems to be, when it's full flow, like every weekend there's like 2 or 3 fucking qualifiers. So yeah, have to get out.
So at your height, what is the heaviest you've gotten?
I hit 330 pounds pretty much most off seasons at a peak, and it kind of over the past 3 or 4 years that's been my peak, but it's progressively looked a little less worse. So I haven't looked quite as fat. I'm like 325 right now, pretty happy with things. I don't feel as bad as I have. Like in 330 for me, I start, shoes are a bit of an issue, stairs are a bit of an issue, moving's a bit of an issue. So I feel good. I mean, I'm pretty fit right now. And then on stage, I'm like around, I'm between like 288 and 295, depending. Like they're kind of the last shows that I did. I was in that range. I did 295 at the PCA and was really full, but could have been sharper. I think I was 288 at the Universe and could have been fuller. And then the Europeans I was kind of in between. I didn't have scales out in Italy, but I like that look the best, even if the tan was a bit dark.
Yeah, so this year there'll be yourself, Dan and Ryan all going for a pro card. There may be a chance that one of you will, they'll turn up at the same show maybe. That'll be interesting.
We'll have to DM and organise something.
This year or next year? This year or?
Oh,
next year, yeah, you know what I mean. This year. Well, Ryan's going this year, isn't he? So I assume.
Yeah, you're this year, right?
Yeah, I keep forgetting now. We're like cancelling out the last 6 months of the year.
Wow. Fucking what a year.
Just write it off. Just be a fucking cunt.
How's that working with the show you're doing then, right? Because I noticed they released like a list of people that are confirmed. Is that like just hand-picked people that they've?
I don't know really, to be honest. So this is like something that I'm kind of discussing with myself. I don't really know, because if I leave here to come home to do that British finals, I won't be allowed probably back here this year, which means then if the show, or even like in my head, I'm like, if that doesn't go well, then I'll go to the Europeans in Spain. If that doesn't go well, then I'll come back here and do the Amateur Olympia. but I won't be allowed to come back here and do the Amateur Olympia. So there's also the Puerto Rico Pro-Am show here that I could do. So this is what I'm trying to work out. I'm like, do I go home to do that show and like just go home for the show and like then be stuck there for a while, or stay here longer? But in my head, I'm still prepping for that British show right now.
So basically, you're currently an illegal immigrant.
No, I'm currently paying $1,000 every 30 days to stay here. But as soon as
An expensive rent that is, mate.
As soon as I leave, I won't be allowed back because I'm paying for an extension of my ESTA because of COVID. You're allowed to, because obviously it's extraordinary reasons that I can't fly out of the US. Like, ultimately, the flights are cancelled like here, there, and everywhere. I could find a flight probably, which I do, to send off to customs. But I also have a letter from a doctor saying that ultimately it's really bad for me to fly because of like sleep apnea being heavier, like higher blood pressure. If I get COVID, like it's going to be probably fatal. So ultimately, I don't really want to be in that situation, to be honest. So yeah, but my visa actual application process is going through. So I don't know how long it will take for them to either accept or decline it. So if they accept it soon, then I will be able to come home and then come back because they'll have a visa here. But I don't really know. It's just fucking crazy. And even COVID made it even worse. So I'm not too sure.
That sounds like a ball ache.
I was gonna say, it's so much stress.
Yeah. The visa's just so expensive as well.
I think that's like extortion, though, if you think about it. If you've got a medical reason or you know, for whatever reason you can't get back, for them to charge you £1,000, that's a fucking joke.
Well, so it's actually lawyer fees, most of it. I think the actual immigration would be like, it's probably like 190 or something. But it's for them to write a letter every 30 days, like an application process, and then it'd be accepted. Like, and then the visa itself was 12 grand. So it's a 600-page document, which can obviously be declined. If it gets declined, then I've lost my money. They won't give it back.
How's that working there? Because I know Samson's going out to do the Tampa Pro. Is it this weekend come in?
So, yeah, it's here. I don't think he's going to be allowed to. Even though I know Tim Gardner's like written him a potential pro athlete application, like he's coming in to compete and then go again. I don't really know how it's going to work.
It seems very strange that he'd get to like 2 weeks out from a show and not be guaranteed to know whether he's going or not.
There's no way he
like
can be guaranteed. The only way he'll know is like once he turns up to the border, and if he gets a nice guy or a dick, you know. Ultimately, that's what it is. But yeah, it'll be exciting because
if he gets a racist Yank, he's fucked, then, isn't he?
There's a lot of
fly into, I guess, doesn't it?
Yeah, the different airports, but ultimately the only airports here in America that are accepting European flights right now are Miami, New York, and Los Angeles. So you can't fly into Tampa or Orlando anyway.
Fuck.
Can't compete in this year. It's too complicated. Yeah. Logistics.
Mate, I get stressed out if I can't bring my own microwave.
Yeah.
To a hotel
Dude.
in like Huddersfield or somewhere.
I don't know if anyone knows this, but there was something about PCA putting a show on this year. Right?
Yeah,
they are doing it. Right?
Said 10 weeks after gym's opening.
Yeah, theirs is the 10th, 11th of October.
Right.
They're doing a first timers and then like I don't know what they're calling, like a UK.
Like the UK show, yeah, it was a UK show, yeah.
Right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Pretty excited for the Tampa Pro though, because I was speaking to Hunter Labrada yesterday, and he's coming into town tomorrow. So he was like, I texted him and he was like, yeah, man, we'll get some sessions in. And I said, I offered, like, if you need any help, let me know. So I'll be pretty excited. Everyone will be in the gym and whatnot. I got tickets for the show, so quite excited for that.
What's your tip for the win?
Huh?
The tip for the win. What are you saying on Tampa?
What? Who's going to win?
Yeah.
What, between Hunter and Ian or Samson?
Yeah.
Oh,
Samson, yeah.
No, they're just so different. Ian looks really good, but I think politics still play a big part in it, and it's fucking Lila Brada's son, so I don't know. He looks great though.
He looks
Like,
outrageous.
That's insane.
Fucking outrageous. If he actually looks like that in real life, then
Yeah, that's the thing though, isn't it? When he stands next to someone, well, how does he look? But because on Instagram he looks insane.
yeah.
him and Ian are pretty much the same height.
That's weird.
Ian-
I think Ian looks quite tall.
Yeah.
Like, but another
So-
Hunter, and I think he looks quite short.
Hunter's 5'8", I think, 5'9".
Right.
I think Ian's 5'10". I think Ian was like an inch taller than Luke, so there's like not much in it. But Samson looks really good in a few of his stories he posts too. So I don't know who else is doing it. Is there anyone else that's doing it?
Well, there's no other big names, I don't think, is there?
Surely everyone else has just gone, fuck this. Fuck all madness.
Fuck the effort.
Well, it was only yesterday they released that you don't have to wear masks on stage.
Oh, imagine how.
Fucking hell.
I've seen some.
Imagine that.
I've seen some of the bikini manufacturers and that giving you matching face masks with sparkly trunks.
I'll be charging them 300 quid for them as well.
Hey, I can't. Oh man, I just
Like diamond glistening ones.
Yeah, Diamante.
Looks like something off Aladdin.
Yeah.
Sick.
I barely fucking breathed with the thing on, let alone pose with it on.
Have you ever tried to wear one of those fucking masks for a long amount of time?
We come on looking like exotic nurses.
It's not fucking easy. I was in hospital, I don't know, last month or whatever, and had to wear it for a couple of days. Mate, it's horrible. Horrible to have your feet. It's hot. It's just, it feels just disgusting.
Especially if you've got glasses on, it steams the glasses.
Yeah, you've got to get the nose bit right under there.
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought it was.
There's a tactic. But yeah, it's fucking gross. It's gross. It just, yeah, so wearing that on stage, hyperventilating backstage enough as it is, rather than fucking wearing the sparkly mask, breathing in diamantes and fucking glue. Getting smashed off fucking glue off the mask.
Right. So, question-wise, I know Geraint's had a few, so I'll let you go first, bud. Get some questions for Josh.
Yeah, I got three, but I just spin them through with it as we go along.
Yeah, go on. You go first, bud.
Yeah. So someone asked you, obviously being at your height, Josh, who's your influences in bodybuilding?
I don't really have any.
No.
when I first got into it, I didn't know anything about bodybuilding. I remember when I first competed, my kind of training partner, the guy who suggested I do it, was look up these people. He was like, look up Ronnie Coleman, look up Jay Cutler. I was like, who the fucking hell are these guys? And then I looked at them and I was like, well, that's ridiculous. And I'm 6'6", and I'm like one of their arms. So that's fine. And I've never really looked at anyone in a inspiration. I get inspired by plenty of people, but I've never looked to be anyone. And yeah, a bit of a lame answer. I suppose when Dennis James was at his prime, Dennis Wolf, not that. Dennis Wolf was in his prime. That was an impressive kind of frame, and if I was to aspire to look like anything, it would be that. But
Fucking love Dennis Wolf.
But I'd never go into the gym and be like, that's gonna happen because
I'm Dennis.
fucking not. Yeah.
Dye it blonde.
Lick it back, dye it blonde, shave the beard, do my best.
Just grow some cars.
See, that's the only thing I might have him on.
Yeah.
Everything else is fucked.
Yeah, I was looking at his face. I think he must have detached one of the inner heads.
Right.
That's my thing on it.
There was a rumor that he had spot injected one and it ruined the nerves. But I don't know if that's bullshit. But I heard a rumor of that.
Well, I mean, something happened. Something happened. I mean, obviously they're not shit, but they definitely they gave me hope.
Yeah. This is it. People to pick on. I always feel like a bit of a dick when I pick on pros for their weak points, because they're just everything else is insane.
Yeah. Well, no, we're just being subjective about.
Just being, bodybuilding judges.
Well, the truth is if Dennis Wolf had calves, he'd have been Mr. Olympia.
Do you reckon they would have let him though? His look was like very different to everyone else. I think
it was the only thing they could really pick on though, wasn't it? Like from behind, it would be like every time people would just be like, no calves, and that was it. That's the only really fault they had.
Yeah,
and they're not big on people that can't speak English well. And I think at the time his English wasn't great, was it?
Yeah.
You really think so? That's true.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, they won't have a Mr. Olympia that can't speak English.
No, I was talking about the carbs. I understand the English. I don't think carbs are a big enough percentage.
I've heard that you can't even see them from the judging panel. So
really, well, because you're down low.
Like you actually can't even. I've heard that you can't even see them. So
really,
Ryan's wanking off.
So basically, we can stop training cars then.
Yeah.
I've been training. I don't think I've trained, and they still literally look like when you order a T-bone or like a prime rib, and they cut everything off it. And my calves look like what you're left with. Like, shall we throw this away?
It's just the shin bone.
Yes, throw them away. I do not need these.
But then if you've not got calves, you train them and nothing happens. And then on the other side of things, like my calves are decent, and because they're decent, I'm like, I won't fucking train them because other things are more important.
Yeah.
They just kind of stay in the middle. So
I think most people got things. I don't train traps at all.
Right.
Because they're all right, so I just leave them alone. I don't really worry. I think you should just worry about the bits of shit.
Yeah.
I think you should train traps though, Dan, because you'd look fucking hilarious.
Like over here.
You'd be like that bulge, the one that's like fucking photoshopped.
I have thought about it. Just go for the guy with the traps.
Yeah.
Just be that guy. Yeah, like you've got, because you're only as good as your weakest point, aren't you? Really, unless it's calves and you can't see them when you're being judged anyway. And
yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's okay.
When you retire from bodybuilding, Dan, just spend like a year training traps and just see what happens.
Yeah, only have traps.
You won't be able to turn his head.
Just make fucking Instagram video out of it.
I think that I train my traps by being a really stressy cunt. So I'm like, oh, fucking cunts everywhere. Like all of my anger and hate for human life just in. Like, oh.
You're shrugging the world all day, every day, basically.
Shrugging the emotions of wanting.
Like Chuck Norris, he just pushes the world down.
Yeah.
G, questions.
Oh yeah, this is quite deep. This one is. Well, I think it is, isn't it? How can you maintain a social life while being in prep?
You can't.
Yeah.
Well, I tried to think about it. I was like, I have no.
It's for Josh, so.
Go for it, yeah, Josh. If you could answer this one, that'd be class.
I think you can't. You can't, can you? You know, if you're gonna commit to a prep, you know, then that's that. It's
yeah.
I don't know. It just seems a waste of like going through 16 weeks and like having the odd social event and then looking shit at the end of it. Why not just not compete and just enjoy 16 weeks of life, or give 16 weeks your all and know at the end of it that, you know, you're completely satisfied, you've done everything you can. I think we probably all had preps where like you do, I don't know, you might go off. To be fair, I'm pretty good on prep, but like, you know, I know there'll be. I always finish a prep and I'm like, what could I have done better? Like, you know, and you don't want to have fucking loads of shit that you could have done better to feel bad about, because that's
when you lose. That's when you fucking lose.
Yeah.
Like, I think that the worst thing that you can do is accumulate things you can look back on. They'll never be fucking worth it. If you go and you look back and go, well, I couldn't have done anything more at that particular time in my life. There was nothing more I could do, and you got beat, then you just got beat. I'd rather deal with that than actually look back and go, oh, well, there was this one time I felt a bit sad, so I drank a bottle of vodka and like ate 500 Hershey fucking Milky Bars.
Biscuits.
Like, fuck biscuits.
Fuck biscuits.
Fucking biscuits.
On cue.
I think like you can do some social events. Like early on in prep, I can go out for food with my mates and just not eat. Like I can like meet up with them. I'm not going on the piss or anything. It depends what you mean by social life, doesn't it? Really, like what, you know, if there's a wedding, I can go to a wedding and take my Tupperware and shit. Like I think you can do like some things, but to look back and go, oh, well, there was that one time where I fucked this up and fucked that. That's not an option. Don't think that that's even like in the fucking. I don't know any guys like at Josh's level that are even letting those things happen.
That's it.
I think.
Go on,
Go on. I think that this is a really interesting point, because I think when you first start bodybuilding, I think you need to learn the actual idea of prep and like locking yourself away and eating in Tupperware. I think as it progresses and like you become a better bodybuilder, like no matter how good you get or whatever, I think once you're like years deep into doing the same thing, I think you can get away with going to the fucking steakhouse, just getting a steak because it's your birthday. You know what I mean? I feel like there's like, if you say don't cook it in butter and stuff like that, and like even take your scales or whatever, I think little things, unless you're like 3 weeks out, but like I think things like that are still attainable, as long as I feel like it's like a process you have to go through. I think like you can't do that if you're just going to start bodybuilding, because like, do you know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, I get it.
I think you've moved to America. I think you've moved to America and grown a vagina over there.
Gone soft.
You've gone soft.
To a point. I think I don't agree with it in such. Like, I don't know if you saw the same day, Hollingshead posted, if you want to be an elite athlete, you can't have balance. And then Jamie Dorigo posted, oh, I'm not going to be an athlete, I want to have balance, because like, did you see that or no? No. They were like both, they were saying opposite.
James's one.
Opposite things on the same day. And I was like, I agree with that you can't have balance, to be honest. Like, if you want to be world class.
There's nothing balanced about bodybuilding. There's nothing balanced. I think you can do other things in your life. Like, I do loads of other shit. I've got a completely different career, like in teaching music. It's completely polar opposite. And all that I need to do is just, I need to be 100% prepared. And I think doing it for years has just given me the tools where, like, I've already done it. It's like when you're in prep and you like wake up on the like treadmill and you're like, how did I even get here? You're like, it's just autopilot. Do you know what I mean? It's done. And I don't know, the thing about like, if I'm on prep, even deep, I can eat quite a lot of food even on fucking prep. A steak a week or a cheat meal or whatever, it's not going to make a fucking difference to actually my physique. But mentally, it's going to put me in an unstable position where I'm going to concentrate, instead of what the fuck I should be doing, on the next time I can do that. Or so I don't do cheat meals or anything off plan, or like I do like high carb days, which I hate just as much as low carb days, because I fucking hate eating as well. I don't know. I don't know. I think for me, it's all or nothing.
It's weird though. Like, it depends on the person as well. You know, like I've been bodybuilding for 11 years, and over the years I've learned ways of prepping that is conducive with my lifestyle, because I understand my priorities are, you know, my children and my job. And fundamentally, I can't go to work vacant. I can't be with my children and be vacant. It's not fair on them. So I have to weigh it up. And essentially, I make like a game time decision at like sort of 8 weeks out. If I'm starting to suffer at 8 weeks out and I'm not able to take the kids out and have a treat with them once a week or do those little things, then I'll just pull the plug, you know? But I think it's relative to the person. Like, I'm never going to go pro. It's not a career for me, but I'm still able to get in good condition and still have those variables in there. But that's only because I have to, because without that, there is no balance for me, because I'm a regular guy with a regular job and kids that don't deserve me to be a miserable bastard. Simple as that, really.
I think it's knowing yourself as well. Like, if you told me like similar to what Ryan said, like, as you go through being a bodybuilder, you can get away with more, but more so because you get a better mindset of things. So like, if you told me 6 years ago, like, I could have a cheat meal and I was on prep and I was allowed it, I probably would have just eaten fucking everything. You know what I mean? And just gone overboard. Like, and that's why even now on prep, like, if I can avoid it, I won't go out to a restaurant, because in that environment, my willpower is not the best, you know, irrespective of, you know, anything. That's just the way I am. So like, I'd rather avoid that. Obviously, like, I'm not going to be a complete dick if it's a special occasion, if it's a loved one, girlfriend, whatever, and it's important to them. Like, my girlfriend's birthday tends to fall in October, which is kind of generally when I compete. So I'll find a way of going out and doing something in that period. But again, like, it's a real mental battle for me, because I'm like, I just want to eat fucking starter, dessert, everything, especially. So, yeah.
So I fucking thrive off that. I thrive off being able to go and do it and think, fuck them. I'm different from them. They're all eating their shit and I'm not. I don't know, man. That's my juice.
Yeah, I get that. Like, I'm like that on prep, but like just in that environment, I'm like, I'm just greedy. Just fucking love food. Like, I'm not bothered about cheat meals or stuff like all year round, but like if I can go out for food, I'll do it because I just enjoy that whole that whole scenario.
The only reason I'll have like a cheat off season is either as a time saving exercise, like grabbing something quick, because off season obviously you don't have to be that regimented, and I do have times where I have to like put more effort into work and stuff, ultimately to save me time later, or if there's a social thing. But like, I'm not having a cheat meal because I want a cheat meal ever, because I don't fucking care about any of that.
Yeah, I had a few cheat meals in the beginning of lockdown just because it was kind of something to do almost. You know what I mean? I was like, I'll have a pizza because I'm fucking sat in my flat for 7 days every hour of the day. Maybe a pizza will make it better. Didn't, just made me fucking shit water. So
yeah, I get that.
That's where like now I'm like, I'll just stick to normal food. And I think as well, like when you do it for so long, you know how you feel, and you know certain like feeling a certain way on a certain diet feels good, and you want to just knock that off for a short-term satisfaction.
I think in the States, Ryan, like you hear about people like Jay Cutler had like a fucking like a
teriyaki boys.
Yeah, like a bowl like named after him, and he'd eat that on prep, and like, you know, Phil he wasn't tracking what he was eating, weighing it and shit. He was just kind of, that looks about right. You know, these guys knew themselves like so well and were so genetically gifted that some of the guys at the top aren't even fucking. They're just kind of like, oh, I'll eat like chicken instead of beef, and then just get ripped. And like, I think the American way is slightly different and stuff. Maybe it's like the eating out culture is more or whatever. Like, I don't know, when I was like a kid and that, we didn't eat out or like get takeouts really. Like, that wasn't like a thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe it's because of that. What do you reckon? Do you see around you lots of people, they're just eating shit?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, right. So apart from Nando's at home, we don't really have a very good sort of like clean protein place. Well, not near me. I don't know about you guys, like chains, really, do we?
I mean,
as
if you
we're
look
here,
at the calories on Nando's as well, it's shit.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, the butterfly chicken, if you take the skin off, it's like just plain chicken, really, you know. But like, there's better options here in terms of like cleaner foods, like that place that Jay Cutler used to eat at. There's a place called Fresh Kitchen, like So Fresh. All these places are literally just like plain grilled meats, and you can add a cup of rice, like, you know, like no added fucking oils and that sort of shit. So a lot of people will end up doing that and stuff like that. But it's not like, I wouldn't do that. I think that's a very British way. I think the British bodybuilding culture is fucking so different to American. Like, it's crazy.
Kind of
Team hardcore.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it comes off of the whole British personality of being like more brutal, more honest, straight up front. Like, here everything's like undercover, two-faced, or like looks happy, isn't really. So I don't know. But yeah, a lot of people that I know bumped into whatnot, like what I was saying about, like, they'd go out and have a fillet steak. You know, they wouldn't eat fucking dessert and fucking all that sort of shit. But like, if you can go out and have a 10-ounce fillet steak, and that meal was supposed to be 220 grams of beef, like, ultimately,
it's the same.
You're absolutely, definitely right about the top guys, though. Like, I know, like, from speaking to a few people, when like their foods, even if it's still high in prep, like, I don't know, over 1,000 grams of carbs, they just fucking eat whatever they want.
Yeah. But you could see like Ronnie Coleman in Unbelievable, just like his dieting was he like scraped a little bit of like the mac and cheese like off. Do you remember seeing that scene? There was like some sauce, and he was like, "Yeah, no sauce." And then like that was contest prep. So when I remember seeing that and just thinking, "Oh, this is bullshit."
I do have a question I want to bring up about cardio for you two, because I know obviously you guys are really big, like heavy as well. And I'm just like, how long can you fucking do the stairs for? I can't fucking do it for long at all.
No, not long.
Fuck the stairs.
Not long at all.
Josh, please tell me you don't do an hour on the stairs. I can't. I can't. No, never.
No, so I did the stairs one prep, I think, in like 2016 when I was at ep10, and like after like a week the stairmaster broke.
Yeah.
And
so
then,
you broke it.
Because of you. Yeah.
Broke
so
it.
basically, yeah, Mark like got it like completely redone, and all of the like the step things were like bent. And he was like, so he just said, he was like, can you not use it? And she's like, fine, mate.
Perfect.
So,
That's brilliant.
but yeah, I remember doing it the first time and being like, what the fucking hell is this? Did I 5 minutes?
Did you just do like treadmill, walking, like bike or what?
I just do bike. I have a bike at home and I just get on that.
Is that a recumbent bike, spin bike or what?
A what bike? So like a.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's a nice exercise bike, but again, it's just, I bought it just because I know it can handle my weight.
Dan, what about you?
Mate, stairs, no fucking weight. Fuck, after 15 minutes, I'm fucking dead. Like, massive leg pumps, mostly at the knee.
Yeah, knee and hips for me are like fucking gone at 3 minutes in.
No, I see these guys and like they're doing it as well. I'm like, or like you're doing it slow, like, oh mate, I just can't. No, mate, my cardio is fucking basic as fuck. I just walk on a treadmill, or at the beginning of prep, just walk my dogs a bit faster.
Yeah.
Well,
this is the point you have to make, that like unless you're like 280 at least, 270, whatever, like for a girl, walking a dog is not fucking cardio.
No. When you're a fat bag of veins, then
no, this is because like sometimes they're like, yeah, done an hour on the stairs, and I'm like, so you think you work harder than me? But you do realise like me walking 300 pounds is probably harder work than you.
I did at one
but
point.
Ultimately, Kai Green fucking used to do the Stairmaster.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but at like 1 mile an hour.
It was fucking.
Was it really slow?
It was right over it as well.
He like sleeps. He like sleeps on it. No, he does. He like sleeps on it.
And he's fucking dripping on it, and it's fucking slow, and it's like watching paint dry.
He was dreaming of the grapefruit.
2. Was it really like 1?
Yeah.
2.
Oh yeah.
So slow.
Ultra slow.
Oh, okay.
I can't do that many reps of like anything, like even just it's a stair. Like for me, that's like, you know, it's a quarter rep, isn't it? Like I can't do more than fucking 30 reps of anything ever.
I know. When I spoke to Luke about his last prep, Chris wanted to start doing the stairs, and he did the stairs. I think the most he got to was 30 minutes. That's still fucking incredible.
I'm fucking dead.
Yeah, it's a progressive thing. I found to start a prep like 10 minutes hurts, but then you've just got to sort of bite the bullet, and it gets better. But it just, I'm not as heavy as you guys, you know, and it was bad enough for me. So I can't imagine what it's like at 300 pound plus.
I don't know if it was just me being lazy, all right. That's why I had to clarify.
No, I fucking hate it. Fuck the stairs ever. I'm so glad I don't have to fucking do them. I can pretty much just put faster steps in.
Even you don't have to do it. Like someone said to me, the only way you're going to get in shape is doing 2 hours stairs a day. I do it, but I hate it. But like I know that I can do like 20 minutes, 30 minutes on the bike once, twice a day at the peak of prep and get where I need to be.
Yeah.
Did you do a bit of HIIT, Josh? Or no?
No. Like at the minute, I do off-season cardio, and for like 1 minute, I'll like go a little bit harder.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm like, I was fucking killing that CV on it.
Because Ben's a big proponent of HIIT, and he reckoned as of what he told me is for most of his preps, he'd just do HIIT. It's kind of Interesting. I've never done HIIT in my life.
I've done HIIT because I sometimes prescribe it to clients, and I'll never do anything or prescribe anything I've not done. And I did it for like 2 weeks, just at some random point of the year. It's just too hard. Like, it takes away from my training.
Yeah.
Like, it's too taxing. So I would rather, spend 30, 40 minutes doing low intensity than doing 15 minutes HIIT, because that has no impact on, the important shit in the gym.
Stuff hits your central nervous system, no doubt. It'll fuck your recovery. You need to, like, the number one thing, even on prep, is your weight training.
Yeah.
So I think we were talking about how much it spikes cortisol and stuff, especially in like a stressed individual.
So you're
So this is literally what we said, and I don't think it's just me, but I think like I prefer to get, like, once I'm in cardio, like 10 minutes in, I really like it, like my mental clarity, like what I'm thinking about, and I do enjoy it, to be honest. Or even if I go outside and do it, I think like I don't know. I think it's a good thing to do on prep. Like visualizing the process, visualizing like what you want to look like. I don't know.
I just get weird music, some really weird music. That's what I do. Is I just go down the rabbit hole, and then Spotify says, "Oh, maybe you'd like Mongolian throat singing." Like, maybe I would. I would like this, and then I'm fucking doing the power walk. Into fucking whatever. Spotify starts knowing that you're a fucking weirdo. Starts throwing out some proper curveballs. Do you know what I mean? Like vagina, fart, fucking orchestral music and stuff. Yeah, there's some rap. That's what I do on cardio. Get into some fucking weird music shit.
I find it easier just to set like
It's quite good. I have some, some stuff to take to the kids. I don't know if you've ever heard that vagina sing.
Fuck's sake.
I don't have a vagina, but here are some. I brought some with me. There we go.
I really like the whole Machiavelli sort of motivational videos. It's a bit mean.
Yeah, that's good.
I think it's easier to set a number of steps these days, though, just activity-wise. Yeah. Like I put in pressure on myself to sort of get 30 minutes of cardio in. Like 30 minutes cardio for me after leg day is a different 30 minutes of cardio when I'm fresh. Like, it's hard to gauge it. You're not burning the same calories at all.
Yeah, but again, this is, I think though, this is a thing that you get to. Like, that's 10 years of bodybuilding, looking like you, Johnny. Like if you just want to do 6,000 steps, maybe I'm wrong, because I'm just kind of that sort of hardcore bodybuilding thing. But I think that people like, oh, this is my first prep. Yeah, let me do 6,000 steps a day. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I think
I'd still do it. I'd still have to put it in a thing, because otherwise I'd get to the end of the day and I'm like, oh, I've got 2,000 more steps to do. What am I going to do? Just start fucking jogging around the fucking living room?
Well, if you look at that Stan Efferding sort of thing, he's like that 10-minute walk every meal. Every meal you eat, every fucking hour or so.
Wanking works, doesn't it?
Yeah, that counts.
Every meal.
If you're jogging on the spot, you do
as long as you wear your Fitbit on the hand that you use,
that's important.
I know JP prescribes steps, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think part of it and stuff. It's quite, but like Cuba has an amount of steps, but he just goes and does them in the morning. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I just go and get them done, so I don't have to think about them. I don't fucking think about like, I've eaten a meal, I better go and fucking skip around the block. Fuck that. I live in Hampshire.
Do you know what? Like, a lot of my preps, obviously, so I'd do my cardio and whatnot, and then I'd be like fucking starving hungry. And ways I'd be like, how can I do more? How can I do more? I'd be like, oh, I go to Tesco and just walk around Tesco and keep walking around Tesco. But damn, that's 3,500 steps.
But that's another thing I find though is, like, do you know, towards the end of a prep, like 30 minutes of cardio, I'm doing 30 minutes of fucking easy, fucking piss easy cardio because I just got no energy. If I've set a number of steps, then I know I've burnt X amount of calories. I just find it easier that way. I'm not saying that through the day I'm like, oh, I need to get an extra couple of steps in. I do it the way you just said, Dan. I would do my cardio at a set time, and like when I do my weights in the afternoon, I make sure that I've reached that number by the time I leave the fucking gym. but it's just easier for it, in my mind. I know that's exactly the same number. It might take me longer to get there on a day towards the end of prep, but it's just.
If you hadn't done it after your training, then you would then top it up. That's what you're saying.
Well, no, I would generally get it done after training. But like, if I've done 20 minutes in the morning and I still haven't got the steps in by the time I get to the gym, I'll do them after training. But if, for example, I've managed to get a good hour in the morning after training, I know I look at my fucking steps, I know I don't need to do any cardio, you know?
Yeah.
That's the way I would do it.
Fucking cardio, what a heap of shit.
G, last question, bud.
Oh, it's a funny one, this is.
Huh?
It's, can you eat a jam donut without getting sugar on your lip?
What?
Just lick the donut first.
Well, no, I thought
That
of
was a
this.
smart answer.
I thought of this, and I was like, well, every time I have eaten a jam donut, I've got sugar on my fucking lip. I've never managed to, get any sugar on my
Eat it
lip.
upside down.
Eat upside down.
What the fuck is this question?
Someone wrote.
There's no donuts in Dan's life, though.
I'm not
right.
sure.
I thought it was one of the biscuits you were cutting out.
I haven't heard the joke yet. What's the question?
Can you eat a jam donut without getting sugar on your lip?
Yeah, you eat it up your fucking arse. Who fucking
Yeah, but then
said
you have
that?
it on your lip, the arse lip.
You have an arse lip, do you? You've been cut out
It's a ring piece.
If you've got a fucking hemorrhoids that size, so it looks like a lip, you've been fucking doing some fucking backdoor Armageddon shit, mate.
No, that was because of his hack squat set. They just dropped out.
He just dropped out bags of grapes doing fucking hack squats.
Out of his ring piece.
Yeah, fuck that guy, whoever wrote that. Show up your ass. No fucking biscuits, no donuts.
This is not about shit food.
I think Johnny had the smart answer. Lick it first. Take the sugar off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but would you be able to lick the donut without getting on your lips?
Well,
The
I think
idea of watching Johnny
just-
at home
Just watch the cunt under attack.
licking the sugar off the donut. Oh, fucking ass. Maybe
You got a boner then, didn't you, Dan?
Hey.
Ryan, that's a new venture for you.
I have to change my caps
just-
after that.
Just gonna wash it.
Fuck me, what a horrible image for everyone. Disgusting.
So the guy who said me, that's your fucking answer.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
So,
I've got a supplement. I've got a supplement to stop the sugar from getting on your lip.
A shot.
There
got a
you
supplement
go.
for everything.
Did Ben recommend it to you?
It's called
Josh.
white kidney bean extract.
Josh, I've got a question for you. The nickname the Viking. When did it catch on? And was it always your plan to sort of adopt? Did someone give you the nickname, or did you sort of just embrace? It just came from the look. And
So
when did you start the look?
I didn't come up with it. Like I hate it when people give themselves nicknames. Like, because I feel that's a little bit of a cop out. I always see you see guys going like on their Instagram something Quadzilla, and you're like,
Yeah, you definitely gave yourself that.
yeah. But no, like I turned up with a beard in 2014 for my shows. I didn't have any hair, but that was when I think the series Vikings was on, and there was my girlfriend at the time actually thought I looked like the lead character, which was a massive compliment because he's like a model. But people just started calling me or kind of saying it, and then I don't know which body power it was. It was maybe I think I'm going to say 2015 when Flex was still with BSN and I was BSN at the time, and we were back. At the back end of the booth, and he was like, "Fucking hell, you look like a Viking." And I was like, "Oh, a few people have said that." And he was like, "You should run with that." And that was it. I was like, "Okay, cool. I'm going to own this from now on."
So you let Flex give you the nickname, and then you said it's all right then.
I let Flex validate it. I was like,
And then the hair.
Yeah, and then I was just like, might as well embrace this whole look. And I turned up to my hairdresser's one day, and I was like, "I think I want to grow my hair." And ever since he's just been like, "Leave it with me, mate. I've got you."
So this leads me to the next question that I had, which is relevant. What took longer, the hair, the beard, or the quads?
Well, I had the quads first, but that's because I wasn't focused on the beard or the hair. So, I mean, the
Got to
quads
work on your weak points.
Yeah, exactly. The hair probably took the longest. I started growing that in 2016, and like I said, I've only had a little bit cut off of it about 4 weeks ago. It grows slow after a while, but it's long enough now. I don't need it anymore. Beard's fine. A beard I keep in check. Quads have no chill with me, which is cool. So they just keep. I don't need to do anything with them.
Dan's face.
Fuck this.
Fuck this.
I like the way that you went to a hairdresser almost to mock them and went, I want to grow my hair. No, we cut the hair here. Yeah, but I want to grow mine. Fuck you guys, I'm growing mine.
So basically, Dan, if you grow long hair, your quads will grow faster. So it might work.
Thing.
Fuck. I better do some GH into my fucking forehead then.
Where are you supposed to put it?
No.
Yeah, don't say that.
Well, that's where you've been putting it.
Oh.
Yeah, you've been doing the cranium crunches.
That's that head strap when you join the gym and like somebody's actually used it doing this.
Oh, I've seen those guys. I love those guys.
Has anyone seen the advert with like the jaw?
The jaw.
Yeah.
Have you not seen those?
What's that one?
They put something in their jaw and they chew on it, and it strengthens and
Chisel their face apparently.
Yeah. You can get ripped chin dominoes.
They obviously haven't fucking eaten enough dry, hard chicken, then, have they?
They've obviously never had a steak meal on Dianabol.
Yeah, jaw pump. Boom. Or afterwards, anyone else getting to the point where you got to stick your fucking thumb in the bottom of your chin because you're like
cramped?
Yeah. Or when you yawn, you're like,
or like when you're sucking cock, right?
I get that really pumping here as well, and it like starts to go up my head, and I'm trying to eat too much candy. Oh, sweets.
Too much candy, man.
Candy, man.
Too much candy in my aluminum tomato scenic wrap.
Tamales.
He's got fucking tamales all over. He's got cataracts. He's fucking.
He had his operation.
What?
Huh?
What?
He had his operation, Guy, didn't he?
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, I was talking to him about it. Just said I hope it went well. And he was like, yeah, it was good, thanks. I was like, oh,
Which
cool.
one was that? Well, he'd already had his shoulders done.
His back,
Oh, he's had one on his back. Yeah, his back.
Fuck. I like the way that he said he did stem cells and nothing happened. That was good. Which is annoying because I was kind of banking on that later in life for when, like, you know, like, gonna die. And then I was hoping I could have a back pocket, like, ha! Stem cells!
Some card.
Hoping, like, by then you could, like, buy them at Boots, like the fucking pill and Viagra. I hope they'd, like, made it to there. So it's like, you know, go to the doctor, sorry, Dan, you've abused your body for far too long. First there was the drugs, and then there was the thing, and then there was more drugs, and now you're massive and you're going to die. Right, fuck you, doctor. I'm going to Boots, get me some stem cells. But apparently, no, I'm just going to die. So it ruined my trump card a little bit. I was like, oh, maybe I should think about, like, being alive. And I thought, oh, fuck it. You know, I've only got, like, dogs as children. They don't last that long. I'm sure I can outlive them. And so, yeah, it was upsetting at first.
Josh, do you struggle to get fat now?
What I struggle with?
Do you struggle to get fat?
It's harder than before, but I don't off season particularly well. Like I look a lot of fucking guys, you know, just seem to get bigger and better, and you know, I always get like a nice little covering on my midsection and lose my abs straight away. I've got really shallow abs, so they disappear after 2 weeks off fucking prep. It's a lot harder for me to get fat. I can't say I've actively tried though.
Do you have to push food that high, or are you a natural fatty, or?
Fairly high. Like at the minute, it's probably about 6,500 on a training day.
So no, basically. For someone who's what you said you're 320.
325, yeah.
Yeah, so no is the answer to that. 6,500 at £320. Fuck me.
So it's enough. Like I've pushed it more in the past. Like I was talking about this with someone the other day. Like, you know, I think it's important when you're younger to have those off seasons where you really sort of push the boundaries and everything. But like now, if I'm honest, like want to get better, I want to get bigger, but I also hate feeling like complete shit. So I try and like mediate that, and you know, I'll potentially see a more patient return on my investment rather than just slamming in a fuckload of food and maybe a bit more gear just to try to get there. Hey,
how old are you now?
32.
Okay, yeah, so you're young. See, I don't have that wait for my investment return, really. I'm like going fucking balls out because I'm literally about to have a fucking heart attack and die. So I'm trying to like, I don't know. I can usually get in shape, so I get pretty bad. But I find actually like lockdown with being sat around a lot more has fucked my midsection. Just walking around and like having the control of the midsection, just existing, walking around, spending too much time like slumped on a sofa and stuff like that has actually stitched me up as well. So you walk around, and it's not saying wear a waist trainer or whatever, but you know, kind of having posture and walking around does help build that. And at the moment, I look fucking horrific. Like, it is horrific. Like, I caught Ellis looking at me the other day, like, and I was like, are you
was that her reaction?
Was
that her reaction?
Yeah, it was her reaction. I was just minding my own business, having a weird. She looked at me like, fucking hell, who's this cunt?
You can sort yourself out, mate.
Yeah, she was like, look, and I was like, are you right there? And she was like, oh yeah, no, just.
Basically, you can't see your dick.
Mate, I can still fucking see this fucking dead, fucking veiny death stick, mate. Fucking all day, every day, mate. I need to have fucking. I don't know. I was going to say something horrible there. I'm going to actually reel that one in.
That was well behaved, Dan.
How about that? Yeah.
You've changed.
New man.
So
I had my dick. Only she needs to see the dick.
Oh yeah, good point. And if you use a mirror, it's okay. So this one's from Wendy. Skills that the Viking would use to defeat a gladiator.
Oh yeah.
What was that? Girls.
Skills. The skills that a Viking would use to beat a gladiator.
I want to know what girls you would use.
Girls is a better answer.
Kira.
Skills.
I'm a warrior princess. Yeah. Myra Hindley. Margaret Thatcher. Susan Boyle. Probably a good one if you're going to take to oh god, who else? Anyways, it's the questions for you. You know, I've kind of hijacked the
Valerie Adams, shot put, New Zealand.
Yeah, solid.
You'd be in the team. Anyway, that's just skills, mate. Fucking skills. I just get called the Viking. There is nothing Viking about me. People are always like, "Oh, are you actually like a Viking?" I'm like, I'm not even going to get the gene test because
I say.
Oh, he stopped.
Oh. Yeah. What did you say, John? Jack?
No, I was saying, I go around sailing on ships and fighting with swords.
Yeah, I reckon there's like not one, because I think a lot of British people have an element of Viking in them because they did so much fucking raping. But yeah. I reckon I probably wouldn't even have any. Like I've just adopted the look.
You only do like a moderate amount of raping.
Yeah, minimal. You know, just minimal.
Do you drink out of horns?
Yeah. I have got 3 drinking horns.
Amazing.
Yes, Josh.
Again, this is what happens when people start calling you the Viking. They fucking start giving you Viking shit. Like,
do you take your pre-workout out of it?
In the past, I have.
This is amazing. Has anyone sent you any sacrifices?
Not yet. Maybe after this podcast.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
We'll put Josh's address in the comments below.
Send severed body parts to him.
Yeah. No, I've got no skills to go on there, I'm afraid, Wendy. I'm the least violent person in the world, so there's nothing I could use there.
Can you do a Hadouken?
I could do a Hadouken, but I don't think it can happen.
Wins every time.
Yeah, do you reckon? So, yeah, we'll go with the Hadouken then.
Practice it now. Show us.
Oh, you can!
I don't know who do better than that.
No. Right.
There's a trend going on where you go into like a shopping centre and you do that. You just like stand in the middle of the shopping centre and shout it as loud as you can. But
prove it. I reckon you should do us a little video for next week.
All right. and go into Swansea Centre and pull it off.
Just don't do it in the gym because you'll get banned again.
Oh yeah, in the gym.
Mate, Jack, I would tell you something about Trojan. It's impossible to get banned.
Challenge
Is
accepted.
that a challenge? Is that a challenge?
Impossible. Mate, literally, I dare you to try and get banned.
Yeah, I can't.
Obviously,
From
don't turn
seeing
up
it today,
and,
I
like,
can't
slap a
imagine.
staff member or whatever, or train with your dick out. But like the
Dan,
normal,
I think if you see Jack train, you'll probably ban him.
I might ban him. Just for cramping my start.
I'll stay
Your
clear,
mate
Dan.
came in, I'll be like, it's not my fucking mate. Can't on the same podcast as me. I don't even know him.
His name's Zach.
Who else has got questions?
I got right. My training partner, he's 6'6", and he's basically asked me 3 questions, which mostly relate to being tall. So one
just
is
for him. Just for him, nobody
well,
else.
it's for people who are tall, obviously. But he's talking about rep ranges. Do you find there's any difference for a taller guy? Ranges of movement, obviously being so tall, like when he squats, the guy you're training with, he squats like he tries to hit full depth, but it's harder at his height. And then obviously another example is like on the bench press, when he benches to his chest, his elbows sort of hyperextend and go past that tension point. So it's sort of related to those 3 things, really.
Yeah, I think like the main, and it's a bit of a, people hate the answer because being tall, there's no difference between being shorter. You know, he might be completely different mechanically from me in terms of like limb length and things, because for an example, like a squat, like I have no issue going like all the way down. Oh, granted, I don't do barbell squats, but like on a hack squat, things like that. Obviously training with Jamie, like he has no issue there. On like a barbell press, I won't go to my chest just because of that reason, I suppose. But again, that's not necessarily a tall thing. That's just where are you going to get the most kind of bang for your buck out of the movement by maintaining tension, kind of safety of joints, etc. So yeah, I think a lot of tall guys kind of expect there to be like some kind of thing, and it does come, me and Jamie speak about this quite a lot, it does come down to just doing the same shit as everyone else or whatever works for you in that regard, but just you have to do it for longer. So, you know, if anyone comes at me and says they can't squat to depth, I would question like what mobility they do, and like, you know, it's about improving that for a start. And then just exercise selection for the individual. So, you know, are there any things that he can get full range on, and how can he, you know, make the most out of his sort of mechanics? Rep ranges, again, it's quite individual, I think. Like I like to hit as big a range as possible. I think for legs, I've always found like doing some high rep, nasty stuff does help a lot. And then outside of that, I've never been one who's like really focused too much on like ultimate strength by being, you know, anything less than like 6 reps. So yeah, just your general sort of hypertrophy guidelines, really, isn't it?
The Weeder principles.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Josh.
Anyway,
obviously, actual biomechanics are pretty much the same, no matter how you're tall or short. But I do think some things we have to set up differently. Like a few different exercises. I can't, like, off the top of my head, I'm a bit stupid. Like, right, I can't remember right now. But there's definitely some exercises that when I train with people that aren't as tall, I'm like, nah, it doesn't work as well. Like, it's not just seat adjustment. It's like spinal flexion, extension, or something. You know, like different things like that. I feel like, for me personally, anyway, like maybe when I'm training chest or something like that. I don't know. I think it's little factors, but it's something you just learn as you go on, I think.
Yeah, I think like, so for me, like I know like the lower back loading movements I have to be quite careful of. And I don't know if that's because I'm like, but I don't like using my height as a potential excuse, if I'm honest. Like it might just be that I'm not terribly strong in that position.
Is your hip stability good or no?
I just know that I'm not like, the strongest in comparison to a lot of others in like hip flexion, hip extension. So, you know.
Me either.
If you think about the sort of length of your spine, though, compared to most, all that musculature is spread out all along there. So it's got a lot more, like, putting a lot more stress to it, really.
But it's more about like your ratios, I think. Because like you said, if someone dimensionally is exactly the same as you, then biomechanics should be equally favourable in all ways. Other than having, if you have a longer lever point, obviously the weight's heavier. That's like basic science shit. But I think most people's like when they have a problem exercise or something they don't work well in, or they're getting knee pain and stuff like that, it's because maybe they have a longer like shin portion, or they have a shorter torso and stuff like that. I think it's probably not to do with being tall. I mean, I'm not as tall as Josh, but I'm like 6'2", and I think it's just biomechanically someone else who's 6'2" like blaze through loads of exercises that I really struggle with. Like my thing that I really struggle with is getting the first portion of a deadlift. That's like,
yes, your lower back hurts.
That's my absolute. Well, I can't get under it. Maybe my arms.
Yeah, me too.
My legs.
I have the same problem.
Like chest.
Yeah, like trying to get my arse down. My hip stability is really bad.
Yeah, it's
like
getting
my
hip forward. Like, yeah. So just biomechanically, I prefer much better do Dorian like lifts, or kind of a similar style to like RDLs.
RDL, yeah.
I was about to bring it up. RDL, like stiff legs. It's something I don't feel very well, and like even if I go
RDLs or stiff legs, because
okay, let's go stiff legs. Something I don't feel very well at all. Even like I'm not very strong on it either.
I'm shit at those as well. Actually, I can do it. I could put on like 6 plates or whatever, but I wouldn't be able to put the load in the right place.
Yeah, see, I have that problem too.
So like,
what about you, Josh?
So I get on all right with like a stiff leg variation, but I'm not terribly strong, but I do feel it. So that's like my go-to, I suppose, like posterior movement.
Was that barbell stiff?
Yeah, but like I won't do deadlifts. Like I've never got on with rack pulls. Like for me, a lot of my, I suppose, training. This is where like the bodybuilding kind of exposes the lack of functionality. Like if I don't feel like a movement or like I don't feel it working, I probably won't do it. Whereas like if you're looking at being a functional human, maybe you should do it because you can't do it very well. But I'm more interested in finding another movement that I can actually grow off, so I'll do that instead. And so like from a bodybuilding point of view, I've for the past 5 years, like for a long period of time, I was like, oh, you've got to deadlift, you've got to squat. I love squatting, I'm quite good at it, but I don't like, it doesn't bring me any more reward than a hack squat, so I won't do it. You kind of refine your training spectrum to what works and what feels good. And like I say,
true to squats for like forever, and I go back to them sometimes. I'm probably not really like much stronger than I was 8 years ago, but although my legs are still weak, like I didn't see any real growth benefit from doing really fucking heavy squats.
I'm actually weaker now. I saw a video on Facebook of me squatting 280, 260 like 3 years ago. Like not great reps, but like 4 or 5 reps. 1, I can't even get under the bar now. 2, there is no fucking way I'd be able to do that.
I have to use deadlift straps to like hold.
Yeah. Like a fake safety bar.
Yeah.
Did you?
Now I'm just like, what the fuck is the point, really? I mean,
I don't know if you've seen this. Prime. Do you anyone follow Cassim here?
Yeah.
Follow Cassim? Do you see that Prime squat bar they've come out with? That when you squat down, it's like a safety bar. You hold it like this. When you squat down, it's got springs on it, and the load of the bar moves like you're holding it like a front squat, or you can change it to like a back squat. It's fucking crazy because like a safety squat bar isn't really like a normal squat, is it? Doesn't feel the same.
Weight forward, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So this device is like torsions and changes like the actual where the weights sit when you squat down. I've never seen anything like it. I was like mind blown when I saw it.
You set them, or it does it like when you're doing it.
So it's got the weights. You hold it like a safety bar, and it's got like mechanics here, like springs and torsion bars and whatever. And when you squat down, you can see them move, the weights moving forward or backwards. And it's like fucking what the fuck. So weird.
And that'll probably cost about 20 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
You need to get massive legs. This could be the missing link.
No, I thought that too.
Yeah.
What other questions did we get?
I didn't get any questions as such other than that. Did anybody else get any more?
I got one from Wendy as well, actually. It said, if you had to choose a coach, who would you choose and why? Or is there anyone you've looked at and thought might maybe thought about it?
Yeah, like I think for me, Callum from the Muscle Mentors, like I've worked with him at M10 for like a year or two, still good friends. Got a lot of time for what he's about and also the walk that he walks, because obviously he's made some insane changes. Jordan, I've always kind of talked to and got a lot of respect for. And then more recently, like if it was like a no holds bar sort of coach, like Patrick Tuor, I've watched a lot of his like podcasts lately, and guy talks a lot of sense, and you know, he's got, like obviously he's got a huge amount of experience. You look at the clients he's got, and I think those three. And I mean, I've never really been interested in a coach just because I really love doing everything myself. I'm an only child. I've definitely got only child syndrome. Like I just total control. So if I did ever want a coach, it would be because like I just would want a completely different outlook. So it would almost be for searching for someone who could give me that. I think the way I train, particularly now I train with Jamie, like is very similar. It is pretty much Jordan stuff. I mean, training wise isn't really the answer. It's going to be more the pharmacology and the nutrition side of things that are going to be maybe people have a different take on. But yeah, those three would be certainly in there. Like I think my goal is to turn pro on my own, and then when I get there, see what I want to achieve, and if I want to then look at getting someone else on board. So.
That is a decent answer. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I couldn't mock any of it.
He's looking.
Trying to find it.
What's your favourite thing to train?
Honestly, like the current split I've got, I fucking love everything apart from training arms, but it's a necessary evil.
I fucking hate training arms too, and I've got shit arms.
Is that because you're training with Joe Howe, or?
Well, it doesn't fucking help. He gets his fucking.
Are you following his split at the moment, or?
Oh right, I thought you just meant it's fucking depressing when he gets his cannons out, and I'm there looking at him.
Bang.
No, I had an arm. I put an arm day in earlier in the year anyway, because after nearly 10 years of having shit arms, I figured maybe something needed to change. Still got shit arms, so I'm not convinced. But anyway,
do you think it's a connect? Like because I with my legs, although they've come up, like I can contract like the teardrop and stuff. I have like very little like mental connection to like my outer quad, and I think that people that have like weaknesses and stuff, it's usually like a neurological issue. Like you have obviously a massive like outer sweep. Are you able to like connect with that? Do you reckon that's why? And
yeah, like I can do like 2 sets, one warm-up set on leg extension and one working set on leg extension, and like I can do my quads, they can be lit up from top to bottom. Whereas I could do like 5, 6, 7 sets on a bicep movement. I could get a pump, but like it's not the same like when you're actually contracting it, and I've never been able to connect particularly well. Triceps are a little bit better, but I definitely agree, like any sort of weak body part tends to be a connection issue. And it's very hard to kind of, like with arms, I'm just trying to find, again, it's down to movements. Like every single movement I do is something that hopefully, that I can feel. Like, if I just stand there doing bicep curls, I'm not getting a lot out of it apart from moving.
So have you started with like the exercises that you feel the best and then tried to explore like the variations with them to kind of hold the feel? Do you know what I mean? Like if you felt like straight bar, then like moving into like a straight cable and like moving laterally like through them so you can like hold the connect, like build the connection.
Yeah, that's I kind of like, I'm quite fortunate. Jamie's got some pretty cool machines at his gym for biceps particularly. So like I tend to, anything that I can be extremely stable in and connect and kind of controlled, I can connect well because there's less shit going on. and then from there, like I've literally got kind of 3 or 4 movements that are very stable, very locked in, and I won't really deviate from them. I'll just kind of push the intensity a bit harder, because I know that if I do just like every now and again I'll try something different. Like I'll see someone do an exercise, I'll be like, oh, that looks like it could work, and I'll do it, and I'll be like, this is shit.
Yeah.
So,
do you find that you pass the load into the bicep tendon like fast?
honestly, I don't know where the fuck it goes. Like I'm there, and I'm like, my bike, I can see it working, I can see it moving. Like my shoulders aren't pumped, my forearms aren't particularly. I'm like, it must be going there, but I can't feel it.
Yeah. Mate, it's like it's exactly the same with my outer. I can like ping my teardrop, and if I worked my teardrop, it would just like. But I've got pretty much zero connection, like mentally, with my outer. I have really, really tight IT bands, I'm told, which probably doesn't help, like compartmenting them and stuff. But yeah, it's interesting that you have this same thing, and we've spoken to a few people that come on that agree it's the neurological connections that are usually the weakest parts.
Yeah.
Like I bet you can like twitch your calf whilst you're having a shit sort of thing. And I have to like push against the floor. I don't know why I try and flex my calves when I'm having a shit. But I think it's just because I look at them and I'm like, I fucking hate you. I hate you. I wish I could shit you out. And then just got no like fucking connection to them. It's like they're like they don't even belong to me.
Do you find?
I definitely think arm training
Go on.
should be giant sets and like supersets and lighter weight, chasing the pump. I think going too heavy is shit.
I think triceps are heavier though. See, I find biceps lighter, getting the pump, and then triceps heavy loads is what made my triceps grow. Like triceps is probably one of my strongest body parts.
Yeah,
but
but
I think
is
that
that
helped.
because you can go heavy on triceps because you've got a good connection on them, so you can still get that good connection whilst loading on them.
Yeah,
I've always had a good connection with them, but they've never regrown until I started like heavy skull crushing.
Yeah.
Mate, if I do some skull crush, my elbows fucking fall off.
App off. Me too.
I think it's different for me because I've got a torn pec. My triceps overcompensate a bit anyway, so I think it's slightly different.
I find like that with the things I don't have to worry about. I can just train fucking heavy and throw shit at them. My back's all right. I just nothing complex about my back training. Do fucking pull-ups and bent over rows and heavy shit. Like no mad fucking stuff. But I can feel all of it, and it's all right. But it's the other stuff like with arms, like my arms are okay. I do train them kind of heavy. I think it's when you find the weaknesses, then you've got to move like laterally.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I approach my training where my last resort is adding more weight anyway.
Right.
Because I think it's like I got to that age. I don't know whether you do it. I think gone are the days where I just like, oh, I've done that. Just add another 10. Just add another 10. And add another 10. Do you know what I mean? I've got tendons to look after. And so I'll usually explore all my training like laterally. Am I doing this movement in the hardest way possible? And then maybe like the weight goes up after I've like exhausted all of those like things. I'd love to be like a Jordan Peters is just like, I do a thing and then I get stronger. Then I get stronger.
Keep doing
and
it.
then I get
But like the biomechanics of arm training for me is fucking horrendous because my internal external rotation and my scapular stability is fucking wank. So that's why my triceps don't work because like this shoulder scapula is fucked. So this moves too much, and then my external internal rotation. So if I do skull crushes, I'm like this.
Doesn't that mean you've just got to do more isolated stuff then?
Yeah, everything has to be single high rep, fucking contraction, slow contraction, eccentrics, fucking all that sort of shit. And then I'm like, whoa, my arms. But if I do anything like a fucking dip, bro, I'm going to snap my collarbone off.
Oh, God. Jack, you're like fucking natty. You get me? #bless. And you've got massive legs. Do you have a neurological wankathon to that direction?
Yeah, I've always had really good connections with my quads. I don't know whether that came from like rugby and football as a kid, because I used to like practice place kicking for hours and just shunt. And like my right teardrop is like so overdeveloped. So I don't know. And like because they were, I think this happens with everyone as well. When you've got a good body part as a kid, you quite often lean towards training it a bit heavier, or because like I remember being a bit of a show off as a kid, I was the first kid to stack the leg extension in my gym. So I used to do it as like sort of like a party trick showing off. But like the more you do that, I think it's something to do with your androgen receptors and stuff like that. Like the more you hammer them as a kid, the more potential for growth there is. And I think that's maybe where it's come from. Like I used to.
So basically, we should get all our kids lifting weights at 12.
I actually think there is scope for it, but
I mean, I've heard all this stuff about, you know, all when you train or whatever. Like I did fuck all when I was a kid, like fucking nothing. I'm not that small. Like literally, I got banned from fucking.
Not that
PE.
small.
I got banned from fucking lunchtime, break times. I had to sit in this little fucking cubicle and stare at the wall to have like lunch in like solitary. Like I went to like a special school where like fucking everyone got stabbed and the teachers locked you in. Like I didn't do any of this sports shit because everyone died. And like. So I think this whole like, well, you're training late, you know, and then like your body like is gotta be bollocks.
I think it's valid what Jack said though about enjoying things. I find in the past, like when I first tore my pec, I fucking dreaded training chest, and then I had to learn to embrace and enjoy it, and then it started to develop again. But it's only recently started to really develop because I've actually enjoyed the session, and I think. You can convince yourself as much as you want that you're going to give it have a good go at that session. But if you're not really enjoying it, then I think there is a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. The weird thing is, well, is that my favourite thing is train legs.
enjoying it enough.
That debunks the whole fucking thing.
Like literally, and it's all I don't think about training anything else. And actually, I have this picture of Tom Platz. And he's got like this thing, and he's doing a squat. And it's so low that literally his sphincter's like kissing the floor. And I just think about it. Like it's like I'm obsessed like with it. And leg training, I'm always thinking about like get a pump in the leg. I get a decent pump in these shin bone things that I carry around, a couple of spare femurs. But just I don't know whether.
Have you ever seen Tom Platz? You could bend him in half. He's so flexible.
Yeah, he was as well. Could you see him?
Something you really have to.
And there's some guy like pushing down on it, and the machine's like, moving over there, and like you're like, wow.
I think his bones bend.
Yeah, I was thinking, wow, like one of those, both my patella tendons are just going to fucking shoot off, stick in the wall like little fucking ninja stars.
Do you think that's true? Like even when I do leg extensions, you know, when like sometimes you lock your legs in like fully stretched. And I'm like, fucking hell, my patella's about to fucking cunt in two.
Yeah, mate. I'm like feeling it like now, just from. I had my first gym session today back.
Yeah?
Oh, mate.
What gym?
I was like feeling pretty shit. I haven't been sleeping well because I had this fucking tooth out. I got something called dry socket.
Yeah. Saw your story.
Oh, mate, it was fucking just like, so I've got this gammy thing that just regurgitates fucking foul tasting, smelling like shit into my mouth. Just like, it's like a little fucking gremlin wanking in my mouth like every night. Absolutely disgusting. Anyway, so
Alice is over the moon about
that. Mate, Alice doesn't come near me anyway, especially since she saw me naked the other day. Like, so like she's finished with it. She's on prep as well, so she's definitely like
came over.
She's not fussed about my existence at all. She's like, wouldn't you like to go and play the PlayStation some more? Fuck off. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I haven't been sleeping. I went to the gym thinking, I fucking don't know. I got in the gym, mate, so many emotions. I almost cried.
Was it like you were coming?
Oh, mate, it was like in the gym I was coming. I was coming day and night, but I was in heaven. And like, yeah, it was fucking amazing. Don't know why I'm telling you this. But yeah, it was wonderful. It was beautiful.
So I got one thing I wanted to talk about. I watched the podcast that Fuad had when he had Dr. Dean on. And they mentioned that mineral uptake and stuff was not suboptimal for a lot of people. And that you weren't getting it from your food and things. And as a result, obviously it all made sense because Dr. Dean is a very smart guy. So as a result, I went and bought these, right? They're blood pressure tablets, but they got potassium and magnesium in there, vitamin B6 and vitamin B12, right? So they're dosed at 350 milligrams of potassium and 400 milligrams of magnesium. Started taking these, and within a week, I started developing chest pains. And looked it up. It's weird. Started looking it up, and obviously it's a side effect of overdosing on potassium, etc., and magnesium. Yeah. So it's obviously it's a metal sort of overload, and these are dosed at like 1 a day, sort of obviously based on some sort of study. So I assumed that 1 a day would be okay. I didn't know if any of you guys have had experience with it. Also, I've stopped taking them, and the chest pain went away. So
it's a shame. It's a shame something didn't come of that. There'll be a claim there.
Well, you wanted me to die?
Didn't you remember that?
I'm just going to nip to the loo 1 minute.
Could have been if we'd have like
Johnny,
life insurance out on you.
Johnny, you did a prep once, and a coach told you to take a load of magnesium, didn't they? We were talking about this.
Yeah,
before.
that was at the British Grand Prix last year.
Same
it
thing,
was
right?
The magnesium was, he wanted me to take that because towards the end, obviously, it was to do with like sodium balance and stuff. And I started getting chest pains then, but I thought that was only magnesium, and it was obviously. I assumed it was related to the fact that I was, sort of lower in body fat, and that my sort of mineral uptake was poor because of my diet. And I started taking these now, and yeah, so I suppose it kind of consolidates the fact that weirdly, a simple thing like this could have had catastrophic effects, I suppose.
I think
yeah.
Ford in the podcast after that, he actually mentioned a similar thing. I'm sure he did. He said that he started taking a lot more potassium, and he said he had pains from that as well.
It's definitely potassium. I mean, obviously it happens with magnesium too, but magnesium just also helps lower your blood pressure. But you're probably going hyperkalemia, which is elevated level of potassium.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's weird because like obviously these are dosed just for regular people, and they're supposed to just sort of help with your blood pressure. So as far as I was concerned, like the 1 a day sort of tablet that was in there was, not exactly going to be an overdose, but obviously we have different uptakes from food and whatever.
Yeah.
I think they're okay if you have high blood pressure. Is high blood pressure an indication of lower levels of these things?
So Dan, if you take magnesium, it will help lower your blood pressure. That's what I do. Take a lot of magnesium.
I mean, funnily enough, my blood pressure is actually, if anything, a little bit low. The doctor always says, "No, you've got to be closer to dying." The guy always takes it twice. Once he's got the leg one, I'm gonna have to get the leg one, and then
because the small one pops off.
No, that's all right. You just use the arm one on my leg. And then they always like, no, this can't be right. You should have died already. And so I don't have high blood pressure. So I am a really, really stressful mentalist that's fat for some reason.
But that's so the one thing I try to get around to people who are quite new to the sport, who don't really know enough. Like the main effect on anabolics and being heavier and all of those things that can have negative effects on your organs, on your blood sort of composition and everything is based around your blood pressure. The negative effects on your organs will all come from having elevated blood pressure. And the number one thing to keep in check as a bodybuilder is your blood pressure. And I don't have issues with blood pressure, but obviously having listened to that podcast with Dr. Dean and stuff, it kind of made sense to me to sort of increase the potassium intake because we're not getting enough. Always wanting to be healthier and making sure that I was looking after myself. But it just turns out, obviously, that I suppose it's best to mention it on the podcast because other people might go down that road and not really consider the fact that those chest pains they're having is coming from that,
But they also say that blood pressure and cholesterol levels, they're looking towards that as genetics.
Do you eat a lot of potatoes or anything, John?
No, I don't. I know obviously that's got the highest level, but that's why I think because when they mentioned what was higher in potassium and things, I wasn't really eating a lot of those. And obviously for me with the kids, if I read or hear something or there's a study on something that's going to support being healthier, then I'm always game to try it. And that's kind of why I did it. And it's crazy, like literally within a week, like it started slowly and then it got to a point where I was radiating chest pain every day. Like any sort of like deep breaths and things, I'd get like a shooting pain.
What happens with your sodium? Do you salt your meals?
Yeah, I always salt my meals, always.
Because even a lower sodium and higher potassium could do something similar. So
Yeah,
like, you
but I
could be
mean,
taking too much potassium.
I'm
I'm
a
no doctor, but I think you should stop taking them.
yeah, no, obviously I have. They're going in the bin. But I just wanted to mention it, because people would be watching that podcast and they'd be thinking, right, yeah, I'm going to get a potassium. Is it a supplement? And ironically, I watched the one that Ben Shaw was on, and Ben was advising people not to take it. But that was after I'd bought the supplement and started taking it. But obviously it's worth bringing it up because this is the sort of thing that people are going to listen to and take small snippets of advice from people. So basically, if you're taking potassium and you're getting chest pains, there's your answer.
I think it's like anything though. Like if you don't measure something, you can't really take something to. You know what I mean? Like if you had high blood pressure, then maybe they'd help. But as your blood pressure's all right, then clearly, you don't. Your balance, although you've not maybe actively thought about it, is fine. So like my blood pressure tends to be towards the higher level of things, so I just have to make sure that I stay on top of it, with whatever I can. Likewise with any sort of health supplements, you've got your basic kind of immune supplements that generally are going to be beneficial for everyone, but then outside of that, obviously if you're taking anabolics and you should be getting your blood work done, you can then maybe be a little bit more specific on what supplements may be beneficial to any issues that are kind of being flagged up there. So
on that note, Josh, what supplements, like health supplements, do you take daily?
So, having said that, I'm one of these who, like, similar to what you said, to be fair, like, I'll start taking something based off of, like, reading something or thinking about something, and I'll be like, I'll take that, I'll take that, I'll take that. Every now and again, I'll like go through my things and be like, what the fuck? I don't need that, I don't need that, I don't need that, I don't need that. But like basic things for me are vitamin C, fish oil. I take Strong Sports. I'm sponsored by them. I take their Support Max, which is obviously your kind of anabolic multivitamin, so to speak, because it's got your TUDCA, your NAC, and like it's got vitamin D in there as well. So that's a lot
of stuff that would cost a lot of money to put together. It's a fucking decent product, that.
Yeah. Well, like before I did it, I used to take them all separately, and it was literally like six supplements, and I was like, and it's all well dosed as well. That's the most, because you get some supplements that are like, oh yeah, it's got all this shit in, and it's like 1 milligram. Yeah, that's gonna be fuck all. So I take that. I take a lot of the stuff from the supplement needs guys as well. Again, based off blood work, like cholesterol kind of, yeah. So I take like their Astrag Flow, which is like their kidney and blood pressure stack. I take the liposomal glutathione. There it is. Supplement corner over there.
Over in the fridge.
What else do I take? Big on ashwagandha. I think that's good. A really good one. I take the sleep stack and the magnesium. I take magnesium separately on top of sleep stack as well. But yeah, a lot of these things outside of your vitamin C, your vitamin D, your fish oil, which I kind of would say everyone should really supplement with. It's then going to be, I'll get my blood work done, and generally liver enzymes aren't quite where they should be, so I want to make sure that I'm covering that. Cholesterol isn't, normally perfect, so again covering that. Kidney is actually all right, but like that's one that I certainly don't want to get fucking worse, so I would rather supplement with a kidney product, because once that shit's gone, it's gone. Yeah, I think.
Do you use curcumin?
I do. So I take again, plugging away here. Strong Sports do Support Max Joint, which has like a form of curcumin, BioCurc, I think it's like a patented version. So I take that, but I also take the supplement needs curcumin because it's got the resveratrol in as well. So yeah.
That's been proven to reverse cardiomyopathy, isn't it? So it's something that I'm quite religious with.
Yeah. These two are really great for blood pressure. This is Carditone, and this is Morphogen Nutrition's Morpho Pump. These are natural supplements that. Oh, this Morpho Pump is like fucking taking Viagra or Cialis. Take 6 caps of this pre-workout, and you like drops your blood pressure so much. And this Carditone is incredible for blood pressure too. Like
he's always going on about the Carditone.
I paid for both of these, so I'm not trying to plug anything. But like I'm just saying, personal experience, blood pressure really good.
No, the Carditone I can't find in the UK. I've not.
Yeah, so over here it's really hard, but it's really good, man. Really good. The Morphogen nutrition stuff. Have you seen much of their stuff?
Of
Morphogen. It's very
I've managed to get it over to the UK now. So.
Oh, you have.
Well, with Insight potentially.
Oh, did you speak to Ben?
Johnny, when are you releasing this video?
Probably.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
I might have blown it then, but because it's like I've been pushing to try to get it over here for ages, like years.
I literally got everything of theirs.
It's so good. The products are insane. The problem is when it comes over, it's probably going to be fairly pricey, but
So,
I don't know.
Also, right, they make an Omega, and this is an Omega product that's a powder in a capsule. It's not a fish oil, so I can't take fish oil what do you call them? Fucking
Capsule. Yeah.
capsule, yeah, because I just burp fish oil all day. This is powder. And like you just take
I know a guy that used to
it, right?
crunch them on prep. I knew a guy on prep. He would bite them and pop them in his mouth. Fucking foul.
I take like the liquid fish oil, which sounds minging, but it's like lemon flavored, so that's fine. Isn't it?
Yeah. I tried that. It's still the same thing for me.
How you know the flavored ones?
I just eat some fish.
Yeah.
And a rice cake.
He's never going to come on after that.
I know, he's not, is he, to be fair? He's not here, we're ripping into
Fish
him.
and a rice cake guy is out there. We weren't going to invite you in to just bully you. That's fucked up. We wanted to know the story. Everyone asks about fish and rice cake, man. Where is he? Some people say he's massive. Some people say he don't massive. Some people say he joined a little tribe in Indonesia and now he lives as a Womack. There's so many rumours. We want to clear it up. We want to get you on. We love you. We're not going to mock you. You know, you got famous off fish and a rice cake, and then you got massive.
Thing is, though,
He's actually big.
You take the piss all you want, but like that's like the ideal sort of prep client, someone who's just willing to sort of do the inane shit that you're telling to do.
The exact right times and everything.
Yeah, hats off to him for doing it.
Yeah. I mean, Johnny were on about this the other day. We were just saying, like, I mean, that prep, I mean, prep's hard enough as is. I mean, to eat just fish and rice cakes, I mean, that's fucking death diet, as we call it, Johnny. Fucking incredible.
Yeah, I mean, you would do it, though. You would do it.
Yeah, you would.
If that's what you were getting told to do. But yeah, you're right. So many people are like get your diet, and then you like look at them and be like, you haven't done any of this stuff.
Or is you get the question straight off the bat. It's like, can I change that for that? Can I have sauces? Can I have this? Can I have that?
Yeah. I drank a pint of milk with my protein shake. That's okay, isn't it?
Yeah, I had that. I had a guy who was like, "Oh, that protein's lovely with milk." I was like, "Where in the diet did it say milk?"
There's
I facilitate most of my muscle growing to drinking milk, to be honest.
Milk is for babies.
I fucking love milk.
You must drink the beer.
I love milk.
Mate,
Apart from here in America, it tastes like shit.
Yeah, it's bad in America. I did have a little touch, but basically, it's the fastest way for me to shit myself is drinking milk.
Yeah.
The only thing that can make me shit myself faster is ice cream.
I was gonna say I like milk only if it's in ice cream.
Yeah, literally.
I do like ice cream. I like sorbet.
Oh, so what?
That's what. Every time I tell someone that, they do the same thing.
There's no milk in sorbet, so it's alright.
Yeah, it's dairy free.
Yeah, I don't like anything, so fuck them.
Right. Okay.
You want a bombshell?
It's not a bombshell. There was no bombshell there.
Bombshell.
You mentioned the bombshell, Dan.
I'll tell you a story, all right? Not many people know this, but lots of people are going to know this, okay? So, when I was born, I had a birth book, yeah, and people would sign the birth book, yeah? You know, it's a nice thing, best wishes, that sort of thing. And basically, my mum was a professional singer, and she was signed to like Polydor and Decca, and she was doing some work with the BBC or whatever. And basically, the upshot was Jimmy Savile signed my birth book.
Oh, fuck off.
I swear on my life.
Oh my God.
Try and dig it out for you, but he's ruined my birth, basically.
Is that all that he did?
Yeah.
I was an ugly child, so
It would explain a lot.
I was an ugly child, so
Come here, Daniel. Come here.
Put on my lap.
So there's your bombshell.
How big was this cigar?
That's, so yeah, if you wanted a finisher, that's that.
That is the bombshell.
Glad you're embracing the bombshell concept.
So, Dan, next episode, your backdrop has got to be Jimmy Savile sat on a chair and you're on his lap.
Tell you what, I did.
Yes, Jack.
Sat on
Also-
Michael Barrymore's lap when I was younger.
Who?
Could we?
Michael Barrymore,
Fuck off.
I swear. He was.
Can we
doing-
do next? Go on. I can't.
you were gonna
I'm still reeling over the fact that Dan, likes, his life is based on a signature from Jimmy Savile, and he was sat on Michael Barrymore's lap and didn't die somehow.
Yeah, I know, but there were no swimming pools around, so I was all right.
Where on the doll did he touch you?
No, she put a doll up my anus, along with the donuts that I was trying to not get around. We're going to say, Ryan, are you going to ask if we can do a different time next week?
Yeah. 'cause
That
it's
is
Tampa
something
Pro.
for the text. No one needs to hear about that. No one.
Ryan, you've
I'm
got
not
to
even
do it
editing
from
this
the
out.
Tampa Pro.
What?
You've got to do it from the Tampa Pro. So whilst you're there, live.
Okay.
Is it next week?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could get a Bash Bros live coverage of that.
Yeah.
See, we can get something.
Yeah,
done.
we'll get sued.
Oh yeah, remember.
Gotta pay the $44.99 live stream fucking price. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, but then
What?
we can charge everyone to watch it. So we can
But
make
that's what they're
that
charging.
easy.
$45.99.
Hold on. It's like 40 quid to watch the show.
$44.99 to watch the live stream.
What in?
What, the Tampa Pro?
Yeah, it's fucking bollocks.
It's all right. I'll record it on my phone for 30.
He's a businessman.
Hey, you'll have to clear some memory off that, Ryan.
I got like
Because they aren't
$100,000 on
allowed
there.
anyone. Is that because they're not allowed anyone actually to watch?
No,
it?
so
Yeah,
they've actually reduced the watching from down to 150. So I bought fucking tickets to go, right? It's like $380.
What?
that's just
watch.
fucking scandalous.
To watch.
So they-
You know.
Mate, I'd literally want like the winner's circle to just at the end start squirting from the fucking open mouth for that money. What the fuck? That's mad money. That's mad money.
You can get cheaper tickets, but like I got.
Yeah, but you want to get the squirting in your mouth.
Yeah, well, it's true.
Back. You don't want to be too far back. Just get a little bit of splashback. You want the direct ejaculate.
Social distancing.
But, what I was going to say is, have you got the next guest?
Yeah, potentially. Well, you would think about getting Derek on, wouldn't you?
That's what I was just about to say. I was going to say if I speak to him and we'll try and do it for like in a week.
Why are we
Because obviously he'll be
this
there.
now? Why
don't
Because
know.
I'll forget. I zone out when I'm not
Well,
here.
Well, you've said it now, so Johnny will sort it.
Yeah, I'll sort it out.
I just need
Okay.
to bring it up, otherwise I forgot. Sorry to interrupt.
I'm going to leave this in the podcast so people can
It's
just
just ridiculous.
understand.
Everyone can realise how fucking great I
It's
am.
yeah.
Right, that is a bombshell.
Comment on Ryan's balloon still being up.
Yeah, it's balloons. Show us the balloon.
You've still got the
Sure.
balloons up.
It's all right, we've got... How many days are in July? 30 or 31?
Too fucking many. Oh no, there's a rhyme, isn't there? All the days have this many days. Lala and November. All the rest have 31, apart from this one and that one and that one and that one and this one.
31.
I never understood that rhyme. It's got no fucking sense. It starts off well, doesn't it?
I never
30
remember.
days
the
have
freeze.
November, la 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 la, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is going well. And he goes, all the rest have 20, and you're like, okay, so all the rest. It goes, apart from this one and this one and this one. It's like just slipping it in like a dirty finger at the end, and this rhyme is bullshit.
So is it 30 or 31?
Fuck me.
31.
31.
It was my birthday on Wednesday, so
Was it?
I was 32, but I don't have balloons.
What? I have to get a badge and everything and a little plinth, and otherwise I don't
Yeah,
feel happy.
when you get to 32, pal, you'd stop
Mate,
celebrating.
as
So.
soon as you hurt 30, it's fucking hideous.
Even after
Every
25.
day, just a skip closer to your mouldy grave. Then probably people won't even bother to buy you a headstone to sit in. All you can pray for is that you'll be burned and sent into space to be forgotten forever.
Well, I went to Legoland on Wednesday, right? And I just realized
you didn't have to wear a mask, did you?
No, but I just realized how many people were just cunts. Just fucking absolute cunts.
Everywhere.
It's because you've had so long without them.
But their children were just cunts too. Their children were running all over like the Lego fucking statues and shit and trying to pull them apart. And I'm just like, are you going to attend to your child?
It's epigenetics. You get a cunt, you get another cunt.
Mega cunt.
Mega cunt.
And you got these parents, their idea of parenting is to hand their child a phone. Here we go.
Yeah.
Occupy yourself.
Cool. Pornhub's quite popular, I hear.
Yeah. If
you are watching, Josh Maley, give him a follow on Instagram. Get your followers up. I've never understood that. I don't know. When we were kids, I used to climb trees and break my arms and throw pine cones at people and, smoke a little bit of crack. Like, do you know what I mean? Now what are they doing? Liking. I like this.
Still smoking crack.
I like this. Bring back crack. That's what I say.
Should we ever competed against Jamie?
What?
Have I?
Yeah, have you ever competed against Jamie?
No. We sort of tracked on that parallel path.
He just disappears in his own little mind. Like
I reckon he's just texting.
It takes me a while to turn my brain on off.
So you hear about that man with the dog?
So did you compete with him or not?
I didn't, mate. No.
Have you got any photos like in prep together? I would like to see you side by side.
No.
We got a photo of Dan and Josh side by side on the universe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's not revisit that.
I didn't really like those photos from the universe. Like, I felt it's one of those where I always feel like a cunt when I say, I looked a lot better than the photos. Like, I look at the photos, I'm like, really?
What's your favourite pose, Josh?
Ryan, this was when you were meant to be asking the questions during the podcast. That massive opportunity we had.
Just heated up now.
I just re-inhibited some caffeine.
Johnny's going to cut these now and put them in the middle.
My fuck.
Probably back double biceps.
Looking like you'd had your fucking face fuck started. And then you're only just heating up now. You look like you've been crying for a month. And then we get the questions now. We needed these questions earlier. We have Mr. Handbag because I've had to carry all your...
It's all right, but we still haven't got an answer to the question yet, so it's just going on.
The bombshell's already been.
Well, we can repose the fucking bombshell.
Re-drop the bomb. Josh, favourite pose then?
Probably rear double biceps.
Do you know what? I was going to say that on you. It looks nice, doesn't it? I just looked at that picture a minute ago.
You said that a bit weird then, right? That looks nice.
I love it.
My favourite pose is front double ball bag.
Right. Thank you for coming on, Josh.
Thanks, Josh. I'm sorry.
Thank you, mate.
Okay. Yeah, man. Thank you.
Apologies for the fuckery. And when obviously you've got a show lined up and we, if the podcast is still going next year, we'll get you on and hopefully you can run through your plans and things going forward with that,
Yeah, sounds good.
How to plait your hair.
Well, I never get someone else to do it. That's how you plait your hair.
We're thinking about doing, obviously Ryan can't, he can do it remotely, but maybe doing like a fucking Bash Bros Unite gym.
Oh, don't. I'm going to miss out now, man.
Gym invasion.
No, when
they realise what a cunt you are, surely.
No.
They're like, fucking hell, this fathead's taking up 2 seats everywhere he goes.
Fucking paying for all their fucking shopping food bills, they'll be right, won't they?
They're taking her gerbs. They're taking her gerbs.
Just hiding in my little man cave with my balloons and just playing with them.
Wanking over Josh's rear double bicep.
I'm gonna have to revisit that one myself.
I was just surprised, you know, like taller people from the rear. Well, I'm like myself look shit. I think like I find it really hard to get that sort of hamstring hang, sort of like density, and his looks really nice. Okay, wrong word. Looks fantastic. It looks great.
Can we make it sound more manly, please?
It looks
Your
sick.
posterior posing
Sick,
with
bro.
the biceps
Sick, bro.
looks majestically
Yeah,
awesome,
looks sick, man.
Josh. Very stern looking.
Say that.
Okay.
Bombshell.
There's the compliment.
There you go. Well, Josh completely fucking trashed me the last time we met, so there you go. I've got nothing. I don't need to compliment him. He made it happen.
You really didn't fucking do that class though, did you?
I nearly didn't do the pro thing because I was,
really go home.
mate. It was actually Josh who convinced me to do it because I was like, mate, this day is fucking long. I think felt like I've been posing since like '93, and I didn't win. I'm not gonna lie, I was like a bit pissed off about that. And I was like, I don't even know when I'm gonna bother. I'm not gonna fucking come anywhere. And I did actually come somewhere. So thanks, Josh. Appreciated that. You gave me some good advice. You said that you wished you had.
Yeah.
You regretted it when you didn't. So yeah, that's the reason I do that. And I have the medal somewhere. I have it next to my participant medal from when I first competed. You know, when they give you like, thanks for coming.
Well,
shit. Thanks for coming. Little medal for you. Don't ever come back with your shit. It's a medal. So yeah, that was good. Yeah, thanks for that. Although I did use his band at one point, which didn't go down particularly well. I was like using his band, and you were like, "That's my band," and I was like,
I fucking hate that when cunts steal your pump up bands.
and I was like,
My mum really got
you
me
a
some
cunt.
nice ones.
"Fuck it."
My mum got me some really nice ones, and someone fucking stole them in Vietnam. The stupid little people.
Really nice ones. What were they? Gold plated.
Yeah, really nice.
No, it's just
Fucking diva.
Yeah.
it was cute. Fuck you.
Some poor little street child stole them so he could feed his family. Horrible cunt.
Do you know what really happened? He got backstage, finished pumping up, and just went on stage, came back, and was like, "Where the fuck are my bands?"
No, it wasn't like that. Because even when I was in Vietnam, I couldn't even find food because it's all fucking shit. Can I have some oats for breakfast? You want fish eyeballs with eggs? What?
Steady on, Ryan. Steady on.
Hold it down, brother. Hold it down.
You thinking about doing Vietnam next year?
It was really nice. I mean, it's sick, bro. It's sick, bro.
Right, I'm gonna go because this is the thing is that the bit where we say we're gonna go is probably from that point the best bit.
That's good.
Yeah, that's when Ryan. That's when I wake up.
Then Ryan's like fucking done 0.5 gram of speed and he starts.
That was just a lot of effort drinking.
All right, Josh. Good to
Hey.
see you as always, mate.
Thank you
Yeah,
very
man.
much, guys.
Everyone else,
Yeah.
I'll see you before I'd like to. Come back when you got less time.
Yeah, fuck you very much.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Bye, guys.
Right. Take it easy.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.